Hello, this is the syllabus video where I'm going to be explaining the course policies and kind of the nuts and bolts of this asynchronous class that you'll be taking this semester. This is Math 154. I am Mr. Ben McKinnon. My email is listed here. Campus office is T203A. The campus phone is listed here. I would not call that phone number unless it is during an in-person office hour. Which those are listed for Monday, Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. I've got Zoom office hours as well. I encourage you to take a look at this part of the syllabus, as this is the way that you're going to be getting in touch with me and the way that I'll be communicating with you. Course materials, really, you've already paid for them. In your tuition, you've paid for Lumen, which is our online homework management system. The textbook is free and online. The link is posted here so that you can access that if you need, just as a frame of reference. When I say here, what I'm talking about is here. Okay, so that's going to be where you'll access the syllabus. I'm sorry, the textbook. Calculator, this is an important point that I want to drive home here. You need to have a scientific or graphing calculator for this class. I list a couple of models that are okay, but the CAS calculators are not. If you have any question about whether or not your calculator is legal, please get in touch with me. The ones that are guaranteed to be okay is the TI-30XIIS, the TI-30XA. And in the way of graphing calculators, I think you guys would really appreciate using either the TI-84 or the TI-84 Plus. Again, if you have any questions about your graphing or scientific calculator, please reach out to me as soon as possible. You will be using Excel in the class, so I give you some directions on how you're going to download that. Make sure you download the actual Excel program instead of the Excel app. The Excel app is Excel Online, and that doesn't work. We'll talk more about that when we get to the Excel project. Course description, I'll let you peruse this at your leisure. I want to keep this video short and helpful. Course learning outcomes, again, I'll let you peruse that. For your final grade, that is going to consist of homework, quizzes, your Excel project, your finance project, and you're going to be taking 3 tests. We're covering 4 chapters in the class, but you're only going to be taking 3 tests because the 3rd chapter, which is finance, we are not taking a test in. You're just going to have a big old project, and that's going to count as your major assessment for the course. Homework, those are going to be Lumen assignments, which will be linked into Canvas. I'll show you where those are in the course navigation videos, but that is online homework. In terms of the necessity of the homework problems, you'll find that they are going to come up a lot. Test problems come from the homework. Quiz problems come from the homework. There will never be surprises in this class. If you are doing the homework, you are doing the test. You are doing the quizzes. You are doing everything. So make sure that you're staying on top of the homework, especially considering the fact that it's 20% of your grade. Okay, so please make sure that you are working on that. You will need to be accessing the Canvas course through an appropriate browser. I recommend Google Chrome. I understand that some folks feel a little weird about Google collecting your data, but just let them know that you're doing your homework, and that's fine. There is extra credit in homework discussion board posts. What you guys can do is ask a question, and you guys can answer each other's questions. You guys can work together. Obviously, I will be answering those questions as well, but if you beat me to it, then you can get 10% of extra credit for that particular assignment after they're submitted, which is testing time. Okay, so make sure that you peruse this policy because there are some nuances of that I cover. Quizzes, there's going to be 45-minute closed notes quizzes administered almost every week, not every week, but almost every week. You're going to be taking those through the Respondus lockdown browser. Make sure that you take the time to read that. I know that it feels like an epistle, feels like a very long thing, but there's a lot to the lockdown browser. A lot of you have some experience with it, which is awesome. Some of the experiences are really good. Some of the experiences are not really good. I understand that. In general, my students have had really good experiences with the lockdown browser if they follow all the rules, and most of mine have, and that's why I list them all out. For projects, you're going to have an Excel and a finance project. You're going to need to use the proper Excel project, as you will be submitting an XLSX or XLS file. You cannot share a Google sheet with me. You cannot use the Excel Online app. Okay. For both projects, you're allowed to use the ARC, the Academic Resource Center. I encourage you to. Both projects are going to be graded by a rubric that I will be releasing to you. Super important that you pay attention to reading the rubrics on this. I really don't surprise you with any grading in this course. All right, so tests. We're going to have 3 closed note tests. The tentative dates for these are going to be found in the course schedule. I really recommend that you familiarize yourself with it because you're going to be taking these tests in the testing center. So take a look at the test administration page. For those of you who work jobs that require a certain amount of notice before you can take off time or anything to that effect, make sure that you take the time off for an afternoon or something to that effect to take your test. I've got both testing site information, location and hours of operation listed here. This is you're going to be taking face-to-face tests. We will use the lockdown browser if the campus is shut down. There's been this little bug going around. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but if that causes a campus to be shut down, like the way it has been in the past, the testing center won't be available, and we'll use the lockdown browser. We'll use the same procedures for that test, for those tests, as we do the quizzes, so it won't feel any different. Now, for your grading, I'm going to use the 10-point grading scale. I follow strict rounding rules. So a 79.4 is a C, 79.5 rounds up to an 80, that's a B. Okay. Please take a moment and review the test administration materials. I'll give you the link for scheduling your test with the testing center, because you have to make an appointment. You can't just walk in. The testing schedule website, I've already got that posted right here, so you can click on that if you need, but I'll also have them have that information in the course materials. There is a virtual testing opportunity, but that's only through emergencies, and there's a very set way that those will be given, and there's a very set amount of circumstance that require for those to happen. Okay. Attendance policy, we have one here at John Tyler. It keeps the college from being defrauded. It's a thing that people do. They will sign up for classes, get their financial aid package. They'll collect the difference from the financial aid package outside of tuition, and they won't go to classes, and they'll use all the financial aid to pay off credit cards, to pay off other debts. And that takes away financial aid from the college, and we have to pay the state back for that. So we have this policy to keep ourselves from being defrauded. There was one year we lost between $1 to $2 million in $1 to $2 million in dollars. That's what dollars are in. So there you go. So we lost $1 to $2 million from fraud. So that was a bummer. So you have 5 allowed absences. When you get to your 6th absence, if it's before October 27th, you will be withdrawn from the course. If you do not attend the first 2 weeks of the course, you're going to be dropped from the course administratively. So keep that in mind. The attendances, make sure that you pay attention to the week expectation announcements and the week overview pages in the modules. I make you aware of what it means to be present for an asynchronous class, because obviously you don't have to go to a place, but you do have to do something. And I tell you exactly what it means to do something. I really, really want you to read the lockdown browser information here. This is just some of the big ticket items. So you need to follow the directions. Okay. If there's any kind of technological anomaly, that can lead to a 0. So make sure that you are paying attention to what's going on. If there's something that happens technologically, reach out to me. if you lose internet, if something happens, because things happen, goodness gracious, reach out to me. Always reach out to me. Okay. I've had students in the past sort of like find their way back into a quiz, and they did that through a means that was not necessarily ethical. So don't put yourself in that spot. Okay, reach out to me. If you haven't submitted any scratch work within an hour of the test being completed through Lumen, and when I say test, I mean quizzes, I can only give partial credit up to 20%. So if you aren't submitting your scratch work, then the best you can do is get 20% for a wrong answer. Don't do that to yourself. Submit your scratch work. Write everything out. Write it legibly. Okay. Make sure that you are following the directions in the overview pages. Right. Nothing terribly complicated here. Now, when I'm saying testing, I'm talking about quizzing, but I have to cover my bases in the case that these become tests. There are no makeups. If you miss a quiz, you miss a quiz. It's fine. You have a quiz drop. It's not a big deal. Please don't miss quizzes, but if you do, it's not going to be the end of the world. Okay. But there are no makeups for quizzes. All right. If there is a technology failure before or during or after the assessment administration, you need to contact me directly. Okay. You need to reach out to me, send me an email. All right. You can't wait for the last minute to do this stuff. If something happens at 11:57 and it's due at 11:59 and you reach out to me and like, oh no, I lost internet. Well, okay, you get a 0 for the quiz because the issue couldn't be rectified anytime before 11:59. So it's late. So that's a 0, which is a bummer. I don't check my email at 11:58 p.m. on a Sunday night. I don't do that. I'm in bed, hopefully trying to sleep, but I've got a toddler and an infant. So I mean, am I actually sleeping? Who can tell anymore? But don't push this off to the last minute. Don't push quizzes off to the last minute. It's a bad idea. Don't let it happen. Procrastination is not a personality type. It's a choice. So you have 168 hours to complete your quiz. If you wait to the last one to do it, you might run into a problem. Obviously, if you share any information regarding an assessment, quiz for, when I say assessment, I mean like quiz or test, scratch work, passwords, questions, answers, etc., you're going to get a 0 for the assessment and referral to the Dean of Students for academic dishonesty. Anything else that happens during the quiz, whether it be opening up another tab in the lockdown browser, if that means that you are working with somebody else, whether it be electronically, whatever the case may be, someone's in the room. There's all kinds of different ways that I have submitted academic dishonesty letters for lockdown browser infractions. And I'm going to be totally honest with you for quizzes. Each quiz is only worth 2% of your grade. 2% of your grade. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Seriously, it's really, truly not worth it. If you're having a rough week, if you don't know the material, just take the lump and take the L and move on. It's fine. It's 2%. If you're cheating during this thing, you can get kicked out of the college for that. And that's just a bummer. That's like getting a lifetime sentence for stealing a candy bar. Scratch work submission and webcam policies, I'll leave you to peruse these. The biggest thing, honestly, for the webcam is set your camera up so that I can see your workspace. That's a big deal. I have a lot of folks submit this kind of stuff to me. I apologize. That's my face. It's horrible. I'm sorry. I should have given like a content warning. Please, please, please don't have your video look like this. Not only because you should like wash your hair or like take care of yourself or whatever, but like also because I don't want to just see a selfie. I want to see your workspace. I want to see what's going on. See that legal calculator in view, see the scratch paper in view. She did great. He did not. And he's clearly not doing great. Look at the bags under those eyes. My goodness. Now, can't leave the camera view. Only approved resources. Take a moment and peruse that. For the course-specific policies, if you have any questions about any of this, please reach out to me. But as of right now, that's everything there is for the syllabus for this course. Please reach out for any questions.